Hey, Megan.
Hi, Patricia. Hi, Pinky.
Hey. Welcome to Sweets You Can Eat. What are we baking today?
We are baking flourless brownies with double chocolate and peanut butter.
Oh my God, that sounds delicious.
Good. Can you smell them?
Can I get the recipe? I want to do some research.
Actually, yes. This is the recipe.
Perfect.
And you can get the recipe by clicking the link below. You're going to go off and do research?
Yes.
Pinky.
Pinky's going to help me. See you later.
I'll be baking. Let's get baking. First, we're going to start with the tofu cream. We start with 6 ounces of silken tofu. This is a typical box of silken tofu. It comes vacuum packed, very simple. And here I've taken it out of the box. So we're going to start by placing the tofu in a blender. I love this blender because it's small. It's like a little handheld blender. I'm going to add to that 1/4 of a cup of maple syrup. And to that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of vanilla. Beautiful vanilla. That really is a big flavor boost right there. So I'm going to get that started right away, and I'm going to blend that with my nice hand blender. Let's see how smooth this is. That is beautiful. You can see the maple syrup and the tofu has blended beautifully. Now we're going to add a whole 1/2 cup of peanut butter because this is going to be just packed full of peanut butter, this tofu cream. So I'm just going to scoop it down and I'm going to do one final blending to make sure that this is perfectly creamy. Here we go. That should be perfect. Let's open this up and see. Look at how beautifully creamy that is. So there is your tofu cream for the tops of these brownies. I happen to use this hand blender. However, you could use a standard blender. You could even use a whisk. It would take a little more time, but basically silken tofu is easy to work with because it is so smooth. So that's it for our tofu topping. We're going to set this aside and we're now going to make the brownies. Before we start with the brownie batter, let's preheat the oven. I'm going to preheat this oven to 350 degrees. All right, let's get started with the wet ingredients. All right, remember I said that these are peanut butter brownies? Well, I meant it. This is an entire 16-ounce jar of peanut butter that we're using. 2 cups or 16 ounces. So it's an easy measurement because a lot of peanut butter jars come in 16 ounces. And boy, this stuff is sticky and delicious and full of protein. And I'm going to try to get every bit of the peanut butter. Now let's add 1.5 cups of maple syrup. This is the sweetener for this recipe. And to that, I'm going to add simply 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. I'm just going to measure this out to make sure I've got just the right amount. 2 tablespoons. There we go. And to that, I'm going to also follow that up with 2 tablespoons of water. And then finally, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. This is my own homemade vanilla. Delicious. So that's just a quick little stir. Watch as this comes together. Oh, it becomes so creamy with this peanut butter. I can smell the peanut butter, very nutty, and that maple syrup really adds some wonderful flavor. The nice thing about this recipe is it really is simple. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be particular about how you mix or it's not sensitive to science. It's just a very simple recipe. Now we're just going to set that aside and we're going to get to our eggs. And now I have another bowl, small bowl, where I can crack each egg. We're going to use 4 in total. And this little bowl I've got here in my hand is collecting up the egg shells. And one last one. Beautiful. 4 beautiful eggs. In fact, there's the beeper telling me that the oven is set. And these are eggs from my chickens. Aren't they lovely? I'm just going to do a quick little whisk to add some air into these eggs so that when I add the egg into the peanut butter maple syrup batter, it brings some volume and rise to the batter. That's it. Simple. Now I'll take the eggs and I'll add those right into the peanut butter mix. Oh, look at that. Again, look at how quickly this blends together. It comes together nicely. There we go. Very simple. So basically that is our wet ingredients. And all we need to do is add the dry. We start with a 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. Now this cocoa powder is so important to this recipe because this is a flourless brownie. No flour whatsoever. It's beyond gluten-free. There's not even a stitch of grain or flour. This is cocoa powder and this is the binding that occurs for this brownie. Obviously, the cocoa powder also brings a lot of chocolate to the table. So I've got my cocoa powder added in and it's going to continue kind of melting and blending as I add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, as well as a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now that is it for my dry ingredients. And there we go, voila. We have got brownie batter. Doesn't that look yummy? I just want to stick my finger in and eat it. And I really can smell the vanilla, the cocoa now. You can start to get an idea of how chocolatey this is. But remember we mentioned that this is a double chocolate brownie? Well, it wouldn't be double chocolate if it didn't have 2 forms of chocolate. So the second form is, of course, dark chocolate chips. This is an entire cup. So that as you bite into these brownies, you bite through and into a gorgeous chocolate chip. That's it. Simple brownie finished. Now let's form and get these baked. Now this is one of my favorite tricks. This is my brownie pan. Brownies are nice when they are square, kind of a traditional shape of a brownie, but my bakes are always single serving. And so one of my tricks is to either bake cakes in cupcake molds or in my brownie mold so that I don't have to do any cutting. It's so simple. So I have previously greased this pan liberally, and now I'm just scooping 1 large scoop of batter into each one of these beautiful square tins. I'll just top off a few of them that look a little bit less full than others so that they bake evenly. All right, so now we have got the brownie batter complete. Now we're going to do the next phase, which is, of course, this beautiful cream, which is tofu cream. And remember, this is not cooked tofu cream. This is peanut butter, maple syrup, and raw tofu. So as these brownies bake, this tofu bakes along with it. Isn't that just so pretty? I love the contrast between the rich dark chocolate of the cocoa powder with that creamy kind of vanilla color of the tofu cream. Now we've got 2 last things to do. 1, what is peanut butter without salt? Salt is so important, and it's wonderful to bite into a luscious brownie, and the first thing you get is a nice salty peanut butter flavor. And our final stage is to use crushed peanuts. Now what I did earlier today is I roasted my own peanuts. You can easily buy your own roasted peanuts. Just make sure they are unsalted, but I like to do everything by hand. I'm such a homemade person, so I love to buy raw peanuts, and then I actually roasted them on the stove in a dry skillet, and then they come out fresh. You can see that mine have little flecks of roasting, and so I'm just going to crush them a little bit because I'd rather have the mouthfeel of a smaller bite on top of these beautiful brownies. So that's it. I roasted and now crushed them, and now I'm going to sprinkle them on top as the final touch of these brownies. So again, this is just almost a visual reminder of what this brownie is. I like to, whenever I bake, I like to have on top of the bake itself one of the key ingredients. So in this case, very easy to think that this would be peanuts. So that you look at the brownie and you think, that must be a peanut butter brownie. Look how lovely. Those are ready to go in the oven and get baked. All right, I'm going to get these into the oven. And these brownies are going to want to bake for 12 minutes, which is a short baking time. And the reason I'm going with 12 minutes is because these can dry out. I don't want them dry, I want them nice and moist. So I'm going to start with 12 minutes. And at 6 minutes, which is half of 12, I'm going to come back, watch them carefully, flip them around, and get them back in the oven. All right, it's been 6 minutes. Let's take a look at these brownies. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at these beautiful brownies. They are already rising. Isn't that neat how the centers sink as the brownie dough, the batter rises. So we're going to close that up and wait another 6 minutes, and then we're going to have hot brownies. I pulled the brownies out. They've now cooled for 20 minutes, and voila.
Oh my gosh, they smell so good, Megan. I can't wait to try them.
Yes.
While you were baking, I did some research, and these are pretty amazing, I must tell you. So these are actually double chocolate, double protein brownies. And you all know that chocolate is really healthy for you if you use dark chocolate or cocoa powder, as in this case. It's like a great antioxidant, helps with blood pressure, even helps with heart health, and is anti-inflammatory. And the protein is an awesome after-workout treat because the tofu and the peanuts give you a real punch.
They do.
And at the same time, the peanuts are known to be really filling. There's even some research that shows it's great in weight loss.
Wow.
And
well, you did do your research.
It's really, I can only recommend these. There's nothing that is not healthy in these. So
that's wonderful.
Can I try one?
Please.
Smells delicious. Oh my gosh. Oh, these are so moist.
Isn't that wonderful?
You guys have to try these. Go bake them.
Simple, wonderful recipe.
You find the recipe on our website, sweetsyoucaneat.com. And you can also click the link below. And what else?
And like.
And subscribe. I'm going to do that part
Yummy.
again.
No, I don't think so.
You can go.
Well, here we have it. I cooled these brownies off for the last 20 minutes, and here they are.
And go.
Pinky. Hey, you want to tell us what the research showed?
You're so silly. You're silly. You just are a superstar.
Okay. Let's try again.
3, 2, 1, go.
Adrian, you ready?
Yeah.
Doesn't he want his own?
Oh, attention.
Let's get it on a plate.
These are delicious.
Cat just wants
Is that
attention.
wonderful?
Just say link in the
Here
description.
comes Pinky.
Hi, Pinky.
I told you.
Hi, come on in. Should I hold him? Should I come in with him?
Yes.
Hey.
Why not? Add character. I'll say, put him down and take this recipe.
Sure.
Come on.
Okay, but you got to do it quick because he's not that cooperative, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Adrian, hurry up.
Okay,
before he starts to scream.
and go.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, Patricia and Pinky.
Yes.